So the bottom, is it in? Is it not in? Well, the video will kind of explain this in more detail. Too many people are obsessed with bottoms. Now, if you try and find a bottom, you might get a smelly finger at some point. You never know, right? However, fundamentals are clear here. You need to buy low and sell high. And one of the biggest things that we are seeing all over Twitter is the bottom's in, we're bottomed out. Rule number one of investing, no one knows what's going to happen. Predictions, speculation, whatever it may be. Psychologically, I'm going to show you a little trick that may help you survive a market. It's a very obvious trick, but it's psychological, and you need to be aware of this very, very clearly. If you are new to investing, this may be odd. If you are experienced to investing, you'll probably know exactly what I mean. It's all about following the crowd. It's all about following the hype. It's all about following what people are doing, and also doing the opposite of what they do as well. I'm always a bit skeptical of people going about opposites, but it's a right and a wrong time to do it. Let's talk about it. So, in my Patreon, I'm talking about the levels that I'm looking at buying. i.e., I'm not giving you the exact levels, I'm not spoon feeding, but I'm journaling, I'm buying this, I'm buying that, I'm happy to do so, right? Because I am nibbling away at the tree to get as much as I can. Fundamentals of that is simple, time. The time to allow you to dollar cost average as a plan is the best thing you can have. If we're sitting and slowly trickling down at this point, you've got time. In a bull market, it's mental. I remember learning crypto, being absolutely mad in the bull market. It was like, oh Christ, everyone was clamoring to buy stuff when you just could have been just chilled out and you should have been starting a lot earlier. So if you're new, starting now isn't a bad thing to do. Let's talk about it. Right, so psychologically, the previous cycle lows here, right? So obviously let's look at the past sort of situations. If you were buying BTC at these levels, you're laughing. Obvious to say that, I know. However, it's all about fair value, dollar cost average at the lows. You need to be in the market and buying and being more crypto down there, or more stocks, or more whatever. Doesn't matter what market you're in, it's kind of obvious. You need to be top heavy down there. Be heavy, because that's where the money is, right? Yes. And this is what we talk about. Oh, I can't wait to be called lucky in 3 years' time. Sorry, but that's your aim, right? You want to be lucky. Now, when it's all the way up here, and let's just make a big box, let's just say, I don't know, like this, you should be, hold on, let's not go that way. When it's stuff like this, where it starts flying beyond certain points, now this can be done for any chart, doesn't matter, this is just Bitcoin. You should be, at this point, getting less crypto, more stables. Right? It's freaking obvious, right? Because what I've always noticed is when it's going berserk, you need to start pulling out. And it's all about the bottom. Now, that's that trick out the way. Why am I talking about the bottom? Well, everyone is talking about certain keywords. This time is different is always when we're at those tops. Adoption, institutional investment, it's going to keep going up. And then it doesn't, right? Funny enough. That's when you need to be taking profit. Now, flip it upside down. What are we seeing? We're seeing we may not do this. Doubt, self-belief doubt in terms of we may never recover. What does that mean to me? Well, to me, that gives me bullish vibes. I know, I'm talking bullish in a video. Fucking hell. Should really check to see if I'm okay. Should probably do a COVID test or something. Anyways, right. So, what we got now? Well, same. The lower we go in whatever asset. Now, some assets here are now at stupidly low levels, right? So, what we should be doing is, in terms of, i.e. Bitcoin, in my opinion, between 18 to 12k, you probably should be dollar cost averaging, because I do think that we are going to be gradually getting Satoshis there for the next cycle at some point in the future. Now, obviously, the word is here, clear, speculation. We don't know what's going to happen in this market. We cannot predict the future, but it's all about putting the odds in your favour. Would you rather buy at 55k BTC up here somewhere, or would you rather buy at 16k? Kind of the obvious answer is on a postcard. That is what you got to do. And when that does happen and you do accumulate units, and obviously, for example, here we do eventually bottom out at some point, wherever that may be, and then we go, bang. Obviously not in that kind of space, but you get the picture, right? You want to be ready for it. Do not be all out of the market. Do not be all in the market at wrong times. Do not be, you get the picture, because gradually as we are dropping, my stable currencies are getting less because I am gradually adding. If you're in my Patreon, you'll know that I've been buying certain things. You know I've been buying Polkadot. You know I've been buying Glimmer. You know I've been buying Near Protocol. It's kind of like, well, yeah, obviously, because look at the prices of it. It's like, obvious. But people are like scratching their heads on Twitter going, well, hold on a minute. You're buying? Why are you buying? See the picture? You got to do the opposite of what other people think, because one thing that I will say in crypto, you don't know what's going to happen, right? As much as we've got a lot of bearish situations, why are we betting against crypto, against the financial market? As much as we are in bed with it, there may be a time where we won't be. And what would I rather be? I'd rather be exposed to crypto when that happens and make some money. So make sure you understand that. So in terms of psychological stuff, if you want to learn more, genuine kind of plug here, that's my company. There's a 7-day free trial. Jump in. 7 days for free, right? You'll learn a bit. Now, let's look at some perspective of gains. Potential gains. Now, Near Protocol, just mentioned it before. Do I believe it's going to go to the Bitcoin levels? No, definitely not. Do I think in the future it's going to do okay? Probably, yeah. It's a good ecosystem. It's just under a little bit of stress right now due to FUD, due to FTX, due to, is it Genesis and all these other kind of prop firms that have broken it. Now, if we're looking at where this could go, if we're going to look at Near Protocol, and let's just compare it to the likes of Cardano, for example, right? Now, it wouldn't shock me in the slightest if it goes back up to 11 billion, you know, a nice little gain here. It's all about risk reward. And when we start looking at the fact that, well, Cardano is down massively, can we actually see Near Protocol go to over 100 billion market cap? Well, we don't know. It's like everyone's speculating on the future, but it's okay to do this in a bull market because everyone's going mental and all the videos are telling you it. But this sort of information here, when you start seeing people predict stuff like this at the tops where it's already ran, again, psychologically, you want to be running away because that's where all the hurt happens. Now, you got to look at this as a indicator to tell you how realistic are people. For me, I think this is unrealistic, but at the same time, it could happen, right? If you start seeing, say, random example, Near Protocol at 20 billion market cap, and people are expecting to do another 10x from here, then you've got to start thinking to yourself, hold on a minute, that's going to be scandalous in terms of how much gains I'm going to get if you've been buying at these levels at $1.50, $1.60, whatever, or maybe even lower. It probably will go lower, to be fair. So you've got to look at that as a big, massive grain of salt. So, simple trick. One thing I will say is put on mute the bottom on the likes of Twitter. You don't want to be kind of caught up in the emotions, but you need to be more crypto down at these lows and less crypto at the tops, because you should be in the market and you should have already taken profit and you should be already winning the game, right? Because it's all that simple element of to have is to grow. If you have profits from the tops or around the tops or wherever it may be, you can redistribute that in other markets, in your life, enjoy your life, and most importantly, back into the market to compound it. So there we go. Psychological video on bottom.